What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Hard Puck 703 channel. So, as you all know, we've lowered the C8 a couple different ways, right? So we started with the rear. It looked good once I lowered the rear a little bit. And then we matched the front. So we put the lowering collars on the front, and then that lowered it. And so now it was symmetrical front and back with the wheel gap, you would say, right? So now the vehicle looked even lower and looked great. But that's still not low enough. For me, it's like I'm always torn between the two because I know how much damage you're going to take when your vehicle is really low to the ground, right? Like you're putting all this money into a really, really nice lip kit and your paint for that matter, right? Like your bumpers and everything. They're going to get torn up unless you've got PPF on it and whatnot, right? So it's always a risk when you go low because there's no room for error. There's no room for any of the debris to go and everything like that. So it's just going to come right at your vehicle. But then vehicles look super sexy lowered, right? Like when they're lowered a little bit, yeah, they look better than, their factory ride height. But then when they are really like, when the tire meets the fender or like when the tire's tucking slightly, that looks sexy and that stands out. That, at least it stands out a lot to me. Like I noticed that on vehicles faster than anything else. And so for me personally, like I love low cars. And so I never got to go super low with the C7 that I have because my fitment, like the tires, it's too wide. I went too aggressive, so I can't lower it any further. I can lower it about probably like an inch more, but I can't do that right now with the fitment. I'd have to swap out the tires and then change out probably the spacer sizing and all that, blah blah. And so, anyways, I've always been left wanting, right? And so, since I'm not going to go that route with the C7, I definitely want to go that route with the C8. I want to get the C8 as low as possible. And so check out what I bought. So I ended up going with Paragon Performance again because they carry the Hyperco lowering springs that I wanted. And here they are. So nothing visually stimulating about them, right? They're just lowering springs. So you guys have seen lowering springs. But here they are. I'm not going to take them out of the protective casing until we get to the shop tomorrow. I got front and back. Springs, they are 30% stiffer than the factory springs. They work great with the mag ride. And they offer a 1-inch drop. So the 1-inch drop with, in conjunction with the lowering collars and the lowering collars on the front, and then me having lowered the actual collars in the rear, it should be a total of, I believe it's 2 inches. I believe it's a 2-inch drop front and rear. And so for that matter, that's going to be a significant difference. Like right now, the vehicle looks lower. It appears lower. But I still got that tire gap, right? And so now taking an inch away in the front and the back, that's going to be amazing because now the tire should be right there meeting the fender perfectly. And in the front, I'm going to have that tire like almost tucking basically because I'm not going to use those riser shims that you can use that are optional, right? For the 3/8 riser shims. I was thinking about it, but I'm probably, if I put them on and then I look at the vehicle and in my head I'm going to know that there was still a little bit left to go down, it's going to drive me nuts. And so I'd rather just take that 3/8 away and just have it all the way as low as possible. So then that way I already know, like, hey, I'm at the max height now that you can lower this thing without air or aftermarket full, like, strut assemblies and all that. So yeah, so I'm excited to get these on because now I really, really want that car lowered and I want that very low look. For me, it adds to the aggressiveness of the vehicle. So that's what these springs are going to allow. And the fact that they're stiffer, I like that because anytime you hit a bump in the road, it's not going to travel that much more easily into like your fender, your wheel well, so the stiffer it is, I don't really care, like comfortability and stuff like that. Great, that's awesome. I prefer stiff suspension anyways. I'm just used to it. I've always had very stiff suspension on my vehicles, so it doesn't bother me, and they're not my daily anyways, so that isn't an issue either. But yeah, so I'm excited. I'm excited to get these on there. I can't wait to have stiffer suspension. I mean, obviously it aids in performance, but then also, like I say, I mean, at least this way you don't have to worry about like your tire flexing and going all the way, like, you know, shooting up into your fender and stuff. So that's great too. More peace of mind there. And then obviously all this ties into how aggressive your fitment is too, right? And my fitment is perfect right now. I also didn't want such aggressive fitment like my C7. My C7 is overly aggressive. This one is aggressive. It's flush with the body, but it's still slightly tucked into the fender. So this way I don't have to worry or lose sleep of like, oh no, if I hit a really big bump, that tire's going to shoot into the fender. No, that's the problem with the C7, but the C8's not going to have that problem. And so that's why I'm happy that I'm building both cars are built differently, right? And so the C7 was built one way, the C8 I'm building a entirely different way. I want to quote unquote slam this one and have not as an aggressive fitment. And then the C7, I didn't slam it, but I have aggressive fitment and I can't go any lower. So yeah, we'll pick it up as soon as I get to the shop tomorrow morning. All right, so we are on our way to Brian's shop. I've got both my boxes right in here in the passenger seat because the storage is useless here in the C8. I tried putting these boxes in the front, didn't work. Tried putting these boxes in the trunk, did not work. So I really just can't find the dimensions of the boxes that actually fit correctly in front or back. So yeah, passenger seat it is for now. So anyways, we are on our way, let's go. All right, so just got to Brian and Jerry's shop. Let's film the height difference right now, right? So we'll see the before and after, and then yeah, I'll pick it up. That is a really busy shop right now. Like, I've never seen that many people inside the waiting room, but all right, let's get started. All right, so here's how she sits right now. This is in the lowered position for the front. So obviously, as we know, it's an even gap front and back, right? So front of the vehicle and rear. So now that we're doing all four corners, let's take a look at the rear. So right now the rear is at what, two fingers, two fingers, a little bit less than 2 fingers, I would say. It's just slightly less than 2 fingers. So like if 2 fingers go straight in, I mean, they get caught right here on the tire. So I would say maybe 1.75 inches, probably 1.75 inches between the top of the tire and the fender. So about 1.75 in the rear, and then let's see on the front, should be about all right, so the front is exactly 2 fingers, so 2 inches, I would say. Yeah, I would definitely say like 2 inches in the front. Yeah, so let's call it 2 inches in the front and then 1.75 inches in the rear. And so that's in the lower position. So now let's see how much clearance we have in the raised position. All right, so let's raise it real quick. Let's push the button. Should go up. I gotta close the door. I always forget I gotta close the door. Yep, I gotta close the door. Okay, so cool. All right, let's go take a look. Okay, so raised position is, all right, so raised position right now, 3 fingers and some change. So 3 fingers and some change, I would say 3.25. Yeah, that looks about 3.25. Yep. So definitely not 4 fingers. So 3.25. So what did I say? So in the lowered position, we have 2 inches of clearance between the tire and the fender. 1.75 inches of clearance in the rear between the tire and the fender. And the raised position, we have 3.25. So I'm probably gonna forget all that, so I'm gonna have to look at my video again to remember what I said. But yeah, so now we got a good idea of what, see, so clearly raised. Anyway, it's not like you guys didn't believe me, but yeah. All right, we'll pick it up as we're starting to work on this. Car is such a pain to maneuver in here. So bro, I forgot that one tool that we need in order to take apart like to disassemble the what do you call it, like the shocks, the strut, the whole assembly thing, right? In order to swap out the springs. The one that I got from Paragon Performance, the one that comes with like that D-pin tool as well, right? You guys saw it in the last video. previous video. I don't know which video I uploaded last anymore right now. But yeah, so right now I'm in a Honda Pilot, and tell me why this Honda Pilot feels 10 times faster than my Vette. Like I don't know if this thing is boosted or something or what. And I'm not even kidding, because sometimes they have like boosted Honda's SUVs there that like you would never think they're just sleepers. But anyways, I don't know. The throttle response on this thing is amazing, and I'm like, literally, why does this thing feel that much faster than that? But anyways, I'm on my way back home. Got to pick it up real fast, and then that way come right back to the shop. So I got to stop wasting time. All right, let's make moves, make moves. All right, we are good to go. Got the tool, it's in the box, and then I also forgot my rear grille that we were going to put back on the vehicle. All right, let's head back to the shop. A million apologies to Brian and Jerry. I think they're just so nice to give me the loaner vehicle, because I was going to Uber back, or I would have had to get the car back out of the spot that we maneuvered it into in the shop. And either way, I would have had to been like, I am so sorry. God, I know you guys hate me. All right, so got the first one off. Started with the front passenger. Let's go take a look at what Brian's doing. All right, so Brian's got the two front ones off now. So where is he at? Oh yeah, he's probably clamping these down. Let's go take a look. And I was right. Went to the clamp thingy machine. So just gotta compress them down, and then that way we can obviously start unscrewing everything, and then swap out the spring.
All right, find your springs.
All right, let's do it. Let's go grab the springs. Right, so shorter ones are the rear. Shorter ones are the front.
I'm thinking the front.
And then the longer ones are the rear.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's okay. Yeah, it's a Paragon. Right. By Hyperco. Well, whatever. I mean, we're gonna find out, obviously, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So
The back might be significantly taller. Yeah.
yeah. So back are the taller ones.
Yes.
So yeah, why didn't we have to use the compressor
There's
for
a
this?
smaller spring.
Oh. Okay. Well, cool.
I mean, you have to use it to take that one off.
Right.
You don't have to use it to reinstall.
All right. So we got the front passenger in. So now we're just working on the front driver. All right. So fender liner is off now in the rear, and then we just remove this piece right here. Just goes right here. I think it's literally just like a mounting point for the fender liner for it to just fit flush. So just remove that too. Gives you a little bit extra room to work over here. Well, that's exciting. So apparently the bolt itself, you can't spin this. You have to loosen the nut and pull the nut off, because this has a locking mechanism that you have to, there we go.
You can pull the axle.
Called the upper arm?
Yes.
Okay. So
And
we
if
gotta
you're not careful,
these will drop.
the axle could pull out. So
Oh,
in
okay.
the Honda, I would loosen it here so that it doesn't pull out.
Yeah.
But in the Paragon video, they had you just doing the upper arm
Okay.
and being careful. He was like, "Oh, be careful you don't pull the inner axle out."
Okay.
But I think if I support it, the axle can't come out.
Okay. Right, because you just don't want this thing to drop.
Yeah.
Okay. The what? The pop clip? Okay.
No, the aluminum bracket.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
You're like, what's that for?
Yeah.
It's just like a spacer for the fender liner.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so it is a mounting point pretty much for like the fender liner.
Yeah.
Yeah. All the bolts, right? And then obviously you just gotta remove the bolts up here, right? Just like on the other side. Right, so then that way the whole assembly can drop. And so then the difficult part is trying to maneuver it out. And it looks like Brian just accomplished that. But remember, you have to hold it up too. You want me to move something for you, Brian?
Yeah, you want to just
Like
put the
what?
jack stand back.
All right, like move it out of the way.
No, put it under.
Okay, yeah, like move it
Right.
into it.
There.
Okay,
Perfect.
yeah, gotcha. Okay,
Yeah.
all right. I'm kind of proud that it makes sense to me because I actually paid attention this time. All right, so You gotta remove the bolt here, right? So we removed that one out. This looks like it is the sway bar link, right? So I see that it's attached to the sway bar. So you just move this out of the way, right? The bottom of this should now be loose, right? The whole assembly, shock, strut, whatever assembly. And then this, I think this is called the upper control arm, right? If it's not, then I apologize. But this piece right here, you obviously got to loosen up too. So you got 4 bolts right there, so you got to take them out, right? So then that'll give you a little bit more room to play with. And then this whole assembly right here, now that you're loose on the bottom, right? You just got to unbolt up here, and then it's obviously going to drop. So just unbolt it up here, it's going to drop. So then that way you can maneuver this whole piece out of here. You just got to make sure this does not drop, this assembly itself. So you just got to hold it in place with jack stand works, obviously. And so yeah, so you'll have a lot more room to play with once you unbolt this, and then this way you can wiggle this out to a side and you should be good. Not sure if it would go this way or that way. I would assume no, not, yeah, you can't maneuver it out this way. You're gonna have to maneuver it out that way. So you'll be able to, yeah, okay. Makes sense to me. Cool.
I can see.
Yeah, it came up. It's through. It's all the way through. Yeah. It's in there.
Okay, you're gonna hold it in place?
Yeah, all right. And then, yeah, so we'll move the upper control arm out of the way, and then we slide it, the whole strut assembly back in, and not much else to it. All right, so now you gotta swing like that upper control arm like over it, I guess?
Yeah.
All right, maneuver it over it, okay.
Without pulling the axle out, which is the game
Gotcha.
plan.
Right, which is what is being held up right now by the jack stand. You're saying the whole assembly or whatever?
Yeah, I have it
Okay.
just helping me.
All right.
Alright, so I'm gonna have to use a bit. Alright, how are you gonna react?
Do you want me to hold anything, maybe? Help you in some way? Like you hold something and then I do something? Would that be easier?
Okay. I gotta do a perfect little finesse here.
Okay. Okay, got it. All right, so you got it. All right. This part looks like it sucks.
This part is
Looks like it's you're like holding up a lot of weight with both arms, so good luck with that.
next thing we need. Some lights.
Okay. All right. So yeah. So hard part was obviously this was off to the side, right? And then the upper control arm was over here. We got to swing it. So then that way now the strut assembly is obviously in the middle of the upper control arm. So in order for you to do that, you have to kind of like pull this whole thing out a little bit. So then that way it gives you more room to play with the upper control arm, so you can slide it over this because it was getting caught like right here. And so then this way you can kind of yank it back or whatever, and then, you know, put it on both sides. So you got to really play with all of this, and this stuff's heavy, so just make sure you don't drop it. So
Washers on the outside.
yeah. Trying to like hold the weight ourselves. We could use a floor jack, and maybe we can hold the weight up, and we can raise it where the lower control arm is. Let's see if that works. So in that way we don't have to struggle as much trying to hold it up while he's threading in the bolts. Oh, it worked. We just raised it up from where basically the spacer is. And we got him in. Cool. All right, so the sway bar, right? What were you saying?
The height of the sway bar under spring tension
Yeah.
is like 2 or 3 inches taller than the hole where it needs to go.
Yeah, I see that. The end link you're saying.
Correct.
Yeah. All right, so I see what Ryan is talking about. All right, so sway bar, right? And then the end link. it's sitting like 3 inches higher than the hole, so that's gonna take some muscle to try to maneuver it into place. So we'll see how he does that. Man, that sucks. It's just a very difficult design for depinning. Just for example, if we don't get off that whole connector, then we can't get that cap off. We're now on the driver's side, so got that off. Obviously, I just filmed the depinning procedure. Well, not really filmed it, but that's where we were at. And so then now we can disassemble it, the whole strut assembly, to swap the springs, and then I guess we'll figure out how to reconnect the sway bar end links.
Under tension.
Right, so since there was tension on the sway bar, you're saying you had to put some weight on it to yank it down, and then Jerry was able to, okay. So
if I was here alone, I probably would have had to use a pry bar and pivot it on something.
Okay, and so pull it down, you're saying, pull the sway bar down, so then that way the hole would line up.
Correct, because it had about 3 inches sprung height above it.
Yeah, makes sense. All right, so yeah, keep that in mind. Sweet, we're putting the rear grill back in, so see, you can clearly still see the exhaust through it, so it's not even, that's not even like an issue that is blocking it at all anymore. I just think it looks great. Look at this. Look how great this looks compared, not compared, but in conjunction with the side grills, right? So like the side grills, I mean, right there, and then, I mean, this is all tying together nicely. This is awesome. This looks absolutely great. All right, so yeah. Hasn't settled yet, probably.
Okay, so I can get the lift out here. It looks like I can get the lift out. Yes.
All right.
And I don't know how that holds, but I was in the fully raised position when I started.
Right, and I think automatically this thing always goes back to the lowered position. Like as soon as you start up the car, you got to hit the button to go back up, unless I have the GPS based here and it'll do it automatically. But no matter what, like when you park the car, it goes into its lowered position. So.
It's got like GPS airbags?
Yeah.
It's got like you can put up to like 1,000 different locations. So then that way when you're approaching like a plaza,
in the parking lot,
it goes up.
I remember. And it pulls up.
All right, so at least luckily right now, since it hasn't settled yet, right, like fully or whatever, we were able to get the arms out. So I assume the arms aren't going to be able to go underneath it easily once this thing is settled in the future and stuff like that. And we got to get back up on lifts and whatnot. But so we got to drive down these ramps right now. It's not even settled yet, like I say, because like once it's settled, I don't think from this angle we'll be able to see the tread pattern or whatever, right? So I think once it settles, it'll probably be just, I'm thinking just from this angle or whatever, it's probably going to be lower. So, but we're going to drive it forward, and then I guess we'll just be careful with this front corner right here on the side skirt, because I know this is going to sit pretty low, and then this corner right here, I mean, obviously the ramp, this back piece is pretty fat. It's going to be much higher than this, I bet. So I don't know. We'll figure it out. We'll figure out how we're going to get this off. I mean, they deal with super low NSXs here at the shop. Now we just got to drive it around to the alignment. So we started up the car, checked the fluid levels, we're good. We're going to raise the vehicle right now. So it should be, yeah, because I assume this definitely is the low position. Yep, there we go. See? Okay, cool. So that definitely gave us an extra like 1.5 to 2 inches to play with. And then there it goes back down, right? Okay. Now we're going back up.
Make sure I got the full level right.
Yeah, no, for sure, I got you. Yep. Nice. Yeah, so it's a good difference that it makes, obviously, raising and lowering the vehicle, as you can tell. Like, that's going to definitely help us with clearance big time. Because you're in the low position, right? You need to raise it. There you go. All right. Oh my God. All right, cool. All right, so now just get this out of the way. All right, cleared it. We're good. Oh, dude, this is gonna be perfect. I think right now I'm looking at the front. I think it's gonna clear the alignment rack, no problem.
We don't need boards or anything.
Definitely gotta put more.
Okay.
You're right.
All right, so now you're in the low position, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I just want to see what it looks like myself.
Yeah, it looks dope. It is really low. It is really low.
Oh, it looks good. It's
Right?
classy though.
Yeah.
It's not too
That's what I'm saying. It's
yeah.
not, yeah, it looks really good.
It does look good.
Looks really good. All right, so now we got to put the boards out so we can get it up onto the alignment rack. That's a pretty high up alignment rack right there, right? Compared to that, right? So that's pretty low to the ground, and then that's many more inches. Gonna raise it up, right? Yeah, thanks, man.
That's freaking wild.
There we go. All right, so nice and raised. All right. Oh, oh yeah. Yeah, see it cleared. Yeah, looks like it. Looks like it. Looks like it's gonna clear. Oh yeah, it cleared perfectly. He's already all the way up. Yeah, we're good. Yeah, dude, you're good. You're good, man. Yep, side skirts cleared it too. Perfect. Perfect. Yep, we're good. Perfect. All right. Well, obviously alignment on these is not easy. I know it was difficult on the C7 Corvette, and it doesn't seem like it's that much easier on a C8. All right, so alignment is done. We are in the up position. Yeah, you're good. You're good. You're good. Nice and easy. Oh, yeah. Yeah, we cleared, dude. Yeah, perfect. Perfect. Yeah, we cleared perfectly. We still had like more than an inch to play with anyways. So that's great. Thank God for that lift feature. All right, so I got to wrap the video up quick because it looks like rain is on its way. I'm literally right on the edge of... Every time I think it's just clouds, you guys have seen that it's not. So I'm just gonna try to wrap up the video as fast as possible. But yeah, so we got the alignment done. The vehicle is lowered. Let's go around and let's see how much it actually dropped. All right, so here's how she sits now. It's not as low as I thought it was gonna be, but it is a much more significant difference height-wise. So, especially on the front dropped a lot more than the rear did. So we'll do a full 360 and then I'll get closer to it. So gives you good angles. See, so you can see that it's got a little bit more of a forward rake. The stance looks pretty good too. And why do I say that? Because it's almost as if like the wheels were like pushed out slightly, and they're not at all. It's just that the fact that the vehicle is lower, it gives it that appearance, right? Like it was a little bit higher up and it looked more sunk in. Now that it's lowered, it looks almost like as if it's got like a meteor stance, but like I say, it doesn't. I would prefer the tires to be a little bit further out. You can see I'm sunk in just slightly, but it still looks good. So let's get closer. So then this way you can see it. See? So still a little bit of room to play with. So you could widen it a little bit, but gives you a good idea. All right? So all right, let's look at the rear. Actually, let me flip the... All right, there we go. I flipped it around. Now I can get closer to the body. So you can see... See, the tire's a little too tucked in for my taste. All right, I'll come around. Around the back. See, so I've still got just a smidgen left to play with, so I could widen it a little bit. And so that's gonna feed into a a future video. So, but there you go. That gives you an idea of how the stance looks right now, right? So, especially right here from this angle, you can see how the front definitely needs to be pushed out. I would say the front needs to be pushed out more than the rear. The rear, I don't know, just a couple millimeters. I would say like the rear, I don't know, between 3 to 5 millimeters. And then the front, I'd say 5 millimeters. But, so if you remember, I said that we had 2 inches of clearance in the front between the tire, the top of the tire and the fender, and then in the rear we had 1.75 inches of clearance between the top of the tire and the fender. So let's take a look at how much how different it is now with the lowering springs. So all right, let's start with the front. So the front was at 2 inches, right? So the front was at 2 inches. So 2 inches, it was 2 fingers going all the way in. One finger doesn't even go all the way in. One finger gets caught on the tire. It doesn't even go. So we went from 2 fingers going all the way in, and then it would get caught right here on this knuckle, right here where my thumb is. It would go all the way in there, and so now my finger doesn't even, my finger literally stops right here. So that's definitely an inch of difference right there. So that's awesome. That's awesome. So there you go. All right, and now let's go to the rear. Okay, so the rear we had 1.7, what was it? It was 1.75, yeah, it was 1.75. So, yeah, definitely not. I can't even fit 2 fingers in there. So right now, like, yeah, I'm barely like past the edge of the tire. So, 1 finger and some change. So one point, yeah, I would say, yeah, if it was 1.75, and I could have been wrong, I'm just guessing, obviously. So let's say it was 1.75 or 2 inches or whatever. Trust me, this is an inch of a difference too, because right here I barely have room to wiggle the finger. So that's definitely another inch of difference as well. So I'd say it dropped it maybe to 1 or something, you know. So like, let's say if my calculations were saying 1.75, right, just for the sake of conversation, I'd say it feels like now it's 1. So close to a 1 inch drop in the rear. It could be a 1 inch drop. I could have been off with my original measurement. Point being, it definitely made a big difference. And it's the rake of the vehicle is really nice because the front is obviously tucked in more than the rear. So you definitely have more of a gap between the top of the tire and the fender here. But that's okay because I still love the rake of the vehicle. So there you go. That gives you an idea. So yeah, so the front isn't even that low. Realistically, I can definitely put my shoe underneath it with room to wiggle. So with my shoe underneath it, right? See, you got plenty of room, dude. So you're good. See, so I thought it was gonna be like right here or something, but I can still definitely put a splitter. I can easily put a splitter underneath the front of the vehicle. So yeah, it'll drop you, but it's not gonna drop you. It's not gonna drop you like, I don't know. I was gonna say like air suspension, but yeah. So it's low, but you wouldn't say slammed per se. I really wanted slammed, but it's all right. It's all right. This is functional height still. So yeah, and then you can see the back. Obviously, it goes up. Vehicle in the raised up position. I mean, I don't even know if I want to raise it right now. I mean, it doesn't really matter. We obviously covered the important part of how much it actually lowered it. I don't really care to show right now exactly like what the difference is when it's raised up. A point being, when it's raised up, it does make a big difference because if your front lip, I don't have a splitter on it right now. When your front lip is coming up, obviously, to a speed bump or something, or you got to hit a entrance ramp, like to a parking lot or whatever, at an angle, it does obviously make a difference. So obviously, if you're this low right here, so when it's raised, it does raise it to like about right here, I would say. Yeah, so from right here This definitely raises to about right there. So it's a good chunk of change. And so then that way your corners aren't going to grind up against the ground. And why do I say this? Because I mean, I was terrified that I was going to have to scrape now every time going up my driveway, because I was going to be too lazy to get the boards, just like for the C7 that I use. But no, I'm perfect. I just put it in the raised position, and then I just hit my driveway at an angle, and the corners aren't catching, so that's great. So yeah, so I mean, that's how she sits. There you go. That is now that's with us lowering the Z51 factory collars from the rear, right? We did that first. Okay, so then we brought the rear down a little bit, right? And then after that, we did the Paragon Performance lowering collars for the front. So that brought down the front a little bit more. And then that gave the symmetrical appearance between front and back. Because at that point, the front was slightly more gap than the rear. So now that evened out the gap. And then lastly, now we have installed the Paragon Performance Hyperco joint operation springs. And so that dropped it another inch. So a good total of, I don't know, like, I guess the springs themselves were 1 inch. And then I think the front collars were another inch. So I don't know, two inches or two inches and some change. So that's a pretty big difference, as you can see. I mean, the vehicle looks a lot better lower to the ground, because it gives you that that like flattened appearance, right? So it's almost like a pancake. I was saying this at the shop. It looks like a pancake, like when you squish a pancake down. And so yeah, it looks a lot better. I love the look of it. The stance is just right. I mean, this thing looks amazing. Obviously, you can go more aggressive, lowering the vehicle more and widening out the wheels, but this does just fine. I'm very happy with the way it sits right now. So this'll do. This'll do. At least for a month. At least for a month until I start doing other stuff. But yeah, there you go. That's my baby. We'll do a low walk around. About as low as I can get right now. I think they should be good. Should be coming out. Should be coming out. There we go. Trying to keep that car in the frame. Sweet. So that gives you a pretty good comparison of a before and after. You guys have seen in all the other videos. I mean, as much as I love the vehicle, it definitely to me personally, it always looks embarrassing, like when your vehicle is just not low, or for that matter, like when you just don't have the fitment looking right. And so fitment's getting there on this thing, so I'm really happy with that. But now I love how it is much lower. So for me, it's like, why am I trying to convince myself on camera while I'm talking to you guys? I am content right now. I do still want a little bit more, so there's some room to play. So that's the part that I'll be dealing with very shortly here in the future. So you guys will see that. But yeah, so I mean, I think it looks great. An important note: remember, we did not use the 3/8 riser shims that Paragon offers, right? Because then, had we used those, the front wouldn't be tucking so much. And it's not tucking. I'm just using the term tucking. But the excuse me, friggin' allergies. The tires aren't tucking. I just meant that the front is tucked in more than the rear per se. And so it's got more of a rake. It's got, let's just say it's got more of a rake without the shims. So I'm not running the shims right now. I was thinking maybe I'll run the shims at a different time. Yeah, at a different time, because I thought it was gonna be too low, but now I realize I'm not. So I don't need those shims like at all ever. So it's cool to have. I've got them just in case I need them or whatever, or I don't know. I guess I could sell them to somebody. But yeah, just you be the judge, because I try to do a good walk around stuff. So then this way you can have a good understanding of how low the vehicle sits but that's not low. I mean, that's low compared to what we were at. So it's lower, but that's not slammed life, right? And so you don't have to worry about like scraping on stuff. I really don't think the majority of people will not need that riser shim unless you have like the craziest terrain in your area, and then now you would need that 3/8 of a difference raised. So let me show you real quick. Right, so like I was saying, obviously this is without the shims, the front shims. So I guess if we had the shims on there, right, if we had that 3/8 of a difference, which I guess it's, I don't know, what, like the tip of my pinky, I guess, or whatever. All right, so like I said, the front is tucked a little bit more than the rear, and by that I just mean it's raked more. It's lower in the front. By no means is this tire inside the fender at all, because like I said, you can get your finger in there. But I would say with the shim, I mean, I guess right where my finger is, it would be like that much higher, right there where my finger is. So I mean, it's not that big of a difference, but I mean, it would raise it a little bit, and so then that way I guess it would look a little bit more, what do you call it? I guess it wouldn't be as raked. I guess it wouldn't be as raked then, for that matter. So if that's the look you want, if you want it to match more of the rear, then go ahead and put the shim on there. So then that way it raises up the front slightly, and then that way it matches more of the rear. But I love the rake on this vehicle right now currently. So I'm good. I don't need that. I don't need that shim. So I love that. Like right now, it's just looking real good. Ooh, that is a sexy angle. Sexy. Nice. All right, I would say at this point there's not much more to say and much more to talk about. So I'm gonna wrap the video up. I'm happy with it. I'm happy. I think it looks great. It looks much more aggressive. And so there you go. Now you guys have a real good understanding of how the vehicle can be dropped in stages, because that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to upload videos in stages as opposed to just going fully to the most lowered options. So now you guys see all the different options we have for lowering the C8. But yeah, so if you like that video, go ahead and click that like button, hit subscribe, and yeah, I'm uploading another video literally as soon as I click stop on this. I need to start recording the other one because I added something else too.